Last week, we introduced a new segment called Counterpoint. I challenged Ibram X. Kendi to come on the show and discuss his philosophies on racism. This week, Logan Paul, who's a YouTuber, got some attention for his own recent anti-racism rant. I invited Logan on the show, and by the way, I want to be very clear that he may actually join me in the near future. I appreciate the fact that he was willing to have an open dialogue, and I may go on his show in the near future. But for right now, I want to make sure that we break down his comments because they did go viral, and it is very important that people know the other side of the argument. Very important that we challenge this in today's Counterpoint. So we're going to break up this video. Let's start from the top.
It is not enough.
That's dope. She got her show set up just like one of them big TV type of joints with the audience, live audience, and everything. That's pretty dope. From what I understand, she came a long way, right? All right, let's go. And also, guys, if y'all enjoy this style of content, please do me a favor and hit the subscribe button, also the notification bell, so you be the first to be notified whenever we put out new content.
Counterpoint. So we're going to break up this video. Let's start from the top.
It is not enough to be not racist. You have to be anti-racist.
Yes.
Condemn those who feign superiority because of the color of their skin. Friends, hold friends accountable. Hold your family accountable. Hold yourself accountable. And most importantly, we must hold our authorities accountable.
Okay, I think it's a good start. I mean, I agree with that, obviously. If there's somebody around you...
I really agree. I really agree with that. Absolutely.
Authorities accountable.
Okay, I think it's a good start. I mean, I agree with that, obviously. If there's somebody around you that is being racist, you should hold them accountable and say, hey, that's not really cool. So I thought he's off to a very strong start here. The problem is that he continues.
If you're white, if you look like me, use your privilege. And for those who do not think white privilege exists, you are blind. You are delusional, and you are part of the problem.
Okay, so in the first portion of this clip, he tells us that people shouldn't feign superiority because of the color of their skin. And then in the second part, he has just told me, a black person, that he is better than me. He is more privileged than me because of the color of his skin. And that if I don't buy into the idea of white privilege, meaning that white people are more privileged than me, then I'm an idiot.
Candace, is that what he said? I think he was talking to his people. Not his people, but he was talking to people who look like him. That's what he was talking to them. Now I know how you see it because I'm hearing that you're a different mind. You're a different type of mind, different type of thinker. And by different, I mean you're just, people say wildly intelligent. But as a black person, I didn't hear that. I'm trying to understand how you heard that as a black person. I didn't hear that. And I approached this so that everyone knows. I approached this from more of a middle where I can care less about the left. I can care less about the right. I can care less about any of those things where y'all are throwing up your flags and your red and your blue, your gang signs, Republican, liberal, conservative. None of that mean anything to me. It doesn't. It doesn't make me who I am, never has, never will. So when I hear people say something, I try to take it for face value and then I go a little deeper into it. But I don't understand how Candace Owens was attacked by that. How you as a black woman, I didn't hear him say anything about black people. I didn't. I heard him addressing white people. So yeah, I need to... All right, let me just be quiet. I'm sure you're going to answer my question.
Meaning that white people are more privileged than me, then I'm an idiot. Does that make any sense? Think about what I'm actually saying here. There are a bunch of white people who are doing what he is doing right now. They're going around and saying, I am more privileged than you because of the color of my skin. Is that not the very definition of racism? To look at me and to say, you know what, you're black, and therefore you are underprivileged. And look at me, I am white. You're an idiot if you don't see that I am more privileged than you. How do people not understand that that is the very definition of racism? It's free. Go to expressvpn.com/Candace right now to learn more. Logan Paul goes on. Let's watch the last clip.
I can count on zero hands the amount of times that I have feared for my life at a routine traffic stop. That has never happened. Half of the reason I'm able to get away with some of my hooligan shit I do in my vlogs is because I'm a white kid.
Wait, before you speak, understand this. He is speaking from his own point of view. He's a white man. He's a rich white man. He probably get away from his stuff not because he's white, but because he's rich. That's the truth, Logan. A lot of your stuff that your shenanigans you get away with, probably be because of your class, not necessarily because of your race, sir. Really. But he's not lying. When you look at the news stops and all this other stuff, it's some craziness that goes on, and he's not lying. I mean, if you can show me the lie, I mean, I'll learn from it. But don't show me the lie with an attitude either. Like, you should know, blah, blah, blah. If I don't speak with that type of, temperament, don't come to me with that. Because there should be a way of communicating to people properly without all of that extra stuff. You feel me? But Logan Paul is speaking for I'm sure he has a bunch of friends who are of color. He's in boxing, MMA, all that other stuff. Acting, the internet. He's an influencer. He got rich friends probably rich and broke friends who are black and white. So we need to take all those things into consideration. Plus, Candace, plus. You need to also understand too that people who are outside more see things better than we see things on the outside. What I mean by that is they're always out and about, hanging out at this event, that event, and doing their thing. They're out there with a lot of people who probably can share more stories than those that have made it to your desk or your email yet. So we need to take a bunch of things into consideration. Everybody don't have the same view as you, but you have your platform. So let's hear your view.
Okay, so this is probably really going to shock Logan, but I have never feared for my life at a routine traffic stop. In fact, 2 months ago, I was speeding in Montauk and I got pulled over, and at no point did I fear for my life. I maybe feared for the fine of the ticket because I happened to be in New York, but I definitely did not think that I was going to be killed by a police officer. What Logan Paul is doing here.
That's mindset. That's your own personal mindset, Candace. You know that, right? You know that for a fact that that's your own personal mindset. That does not mean that people who look like you don't have that fear. And we can't just discount that fear simply because we don't have that fear sometimes. Like, I've had that fear. I fear for my children being pulled over sometimes because of certain things that have happened. When you have black sons who are driving and black daughters who are driving, and you know what's happened, yeah, you are a little fearful. But until you experience those things, it will never really hit home for you. People don't understand why I'm checking out all these different people I'm checking out here. I'm doing this because that's that far right mentality right there that you're presenting us. Come closer to the middle. And far left people, bring your ass close to the middle too. So that we can have some understanding, because you just now made I don't fear for my life, and everyone started clapping or laughing. That's not a joke. Because there are people out there who fear for their lives when they're driving, and they have a right to, because in their areas where they live, and again, it might not be race, it might just be the class. It might just be the areas they're in, period. They're approached with a little bit more caution than somebody out in the boonies or somebody out in great neighborhoods where they don't believe that they believe that the possibility of it going left is very, very minimal. So they approach you in the nicest ways possible. But if they are in a certain type of area and they feel that the likelihood of things going left are a little higher, they're going to have their hand on that strap, unstrapping that weapon while approaching the vehicle sometimes. They might have 2 more people approach it. Some people shoot first and ask questions later because they thought they saw what they didn't see. Now, unless we face that, we really cannot put ourselves in those shoes. It makes absolutely no sense. And there's no bit of data we can look at that should try to remove all sensibility from those situations. It makes absolutely no sense. Now, and I'm speaking as a father. I'm speaking as a husband right now. My youngest is 16. My oldest is 24. College grads, all this other stuff, yes. But they still are black in America, where things have happened to black people in America. Have things happened to white people? Absolutely. Who can speak on that more than me? White people. Who can speak on black stuff more than white people? Me. It just is what it is.
He is making an assumption, a very racist assumption, that all black people are having the same experience at all times. He is saying, you know what? One black person has a bad experience with the cop. Therefore, that means that all black people must have a bad experience with the cop. That's racist. We are all different individuals regardless of our skin color. There are going to be some white people who are terrified when they get pulled over, particularly white people that have records and have reasons to fear the police when they have to interact with them. There are going to be black people that have those exact same fears because of similar interactions. But trust me, Logan, there are plenty of us who do not fear when the police pulls them over because we have nothing to hide.
He didn't say all people, Candace. You're making great points, but he didn't say all. He's just highlighting the issue that actually exists. And I get it. You got a point to argue, but he's just highlighting something that exists because she is extremely intelligent. Very intelligent. But it's like you're because of your intelligence, I expect for you to understand what I already know you understand. You're just not speaking on it because it's not conducive to what you're trying to do and build. And that's not cool.
I don't buy in. I am not a subscriber to the idea that when a police officer pulls over Candace Owens, it's because he wants to kill her because of the color of her skin. That seems ridiculous to me, which brings me to my last point. Logan, statistics. It turns out, Logan, that your emotions defy reality. The reality is that Black Americans are 13% of the population and yet commit near 50% of all the homicides in this country. The reality is that white men are actually gunned down, unarmed by police officers more often than black men. By rate, look it up. The FBI statistics are available to you too. I suggest you look up those statistics so that when you and I actually have a sit down and have a productive conversation, which I'm very much looking forward to, that you are actually armed with truth and not emotion.
Hold on. See that right there? One thing doesn't tie into the other. It doesn't. It doesn't. And I'm going to tell y'all why. Because black people need to get their stuff together in certain areas where there's a whole bunch of black on black crime going on. Yes. And that's the truth. But it's also true that black people are fearful of their lives sometimes when they're driving and they're potentially pulled over because what's highlighted on the news and I'm just gonna say what's highlighted on the news are the black people who are killed by police. That's what's highlighted. What's not highlighted is white men being killed by police. Black people are very much aware of the fact that our own background and our own backyard need to be cleaned up. We're very much aware of that. There's a lot of initiatives out there that's trying to stop it right now. So yeah, black on black crime is crazy. We get that. But so is white on black crime that actually happened and they seem like they're not being heard and they're not getting the justice that they've been asking for. How about they just have conversations? Because it seems like what's happening is because of statistics, people's experiences are being ignored. Because like people are saying, it's facts over feelings. You ain't got no statistics, do you? Well, guess what? My statistics are bigger than yours. We're having a statistics measuring test. See who got the biggest statistics. Because white people are also being shot by white police. So next, shouldn't they be the fearful ones? Huh? They should be the fearful ones, in my opinion. I don't see nobody marching for them. Guys, we all need to grow the hell up, bro. Seriously. I'm sure y'all got a lot of value from what the young lady has said. And so have I. But it was one-sided. And I don't like one-sided information at all. Y'all let me know what y'all think about this in the comments below. And if you have yet to hit that subscribe button, please make sure you do so on your way out the door. Once again, guys, I am Van. And now we are all the LFR family. And I look forward to seeing you on the next video, hopefully inside of the Patreon as well. You guys have been amazing, as always. Love y'all.